That's right, I've been debunked. I've been debunked.
That's right, I've been debunked.
I've been debunked. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, well, we got sound, and we're ready to show you what got debunked. Let me just knock off the sound of that music, and then we'll see what happens later when it comes to music. All right, so let's take a look here. Get started with the debunking. Unfortunately, let's get rid of that. Unfortunately, when I showed you this, I had no idea what it was, but we finally figured it out. Now, if you did listen to my videos, you would remember that I did mention 1930 quite a bit. There was one person who said that this was probably for clam and oyster farming. So I even called a lady up over here, and I'm not going to show you where she was, but it was very close to this point, right around here somewhere. And when I asked her about the cuts, she denied knowing anything about that. So we are now knowing. Okay, so somewhere along the line, I honestly, there's two things about this mystery I brought up. One of them is the Mississippi Delta, but this in particular is not like that down there. So this is what I showed, and actually I kind of lost the article. There was an article that explained it, but let me just show you the pictures. So here this person sent me this photo, and in 1930 these cuts had not appeared yet, as you can see. So that's that. I mean, honestly, that's all it takes for me to be debunked, I believe. Because, yeah, 1930 was the year. That was the year that I tried to figure out, okay, I don't know if that was showing the right cam shot. It's showing it with dots everywhere. Okay, let me just show you that. So, yeah, that's a spot, but we can see these clearly, these cuts right here are the cuts that I am curious about. By the way, those cuts, those have water in them. But from the article I read, it doesn't matter. Here's the other picture. It's just showing the same thing. And what is this? This is showing a location. I hate when that thing pops up. That's New York. It's right by the airport. I had a lot of questions. Long Island. This says F.I. something island. Don't know, but it's basically talking about this. The year in question doesn't show here. Whoops, that's for later. So in 1930, it shows that this hadn't happened yet, right? So there you go. That's important, I think. So we got to accept that. And I do want to shut my phone off sometimes, don't I? Can I just turn off the notifications? Okay, I do want to admit, I mean, I never claimed that this was done by, say, the giants that did the dikes, which I'm going to talk about again. But this is a good debunking, because now I can stop thinking about it. Oh, I haven't told you what it is yet, have I? Okay. Wow, I'm really... Okay, that's... I really hate that film strip. Smith Point, New York. So we could go to these places if I wanted to, but I don't see a need. I think I went over it enough. I got a lot of pictures of the areas. I can't scroll through them like I wanted to, because it kind of... okay, there's one. And there's one right here. That's one right there, and that's one. This right here shows one of the big questions I had was, how could anything related to even the harvesting of clams or oysters, I mean, what are they going around right there? Why did they cut it over and then... And I don't know how easy it was. I don't know what machine they used. I am kind of curious. I'll be doing a little study on that, but I don't think it belongs on this channel. It's not mining, so the answer is mosquitoes. Yes, the deadliest animal in the world, according to the article, which I don't have handy. I'll have to grab that article and maybe put it in the description later. But that article shows... Let me just see if I can find the good one. So let's get out of the pictures, and I'll just go to my favorite place, this place right here. Just bizarre to me. One of my favorite places. Now, according to the article, this little neighborhood was not a neighborhood because it was harsh and there were mosquitoes. So in the 30s, I guess, they started to cut this land up so it would dry out better, which makes perfect sense when I'm looking at this. You see kind of a river right there, but the rest of it's really just dried out. I don't know who came up with that idea. That's a lake, so it's not perfect. And there's lakes in here. You can see that lake right there. But then again, maybe they kind of gave up on the project. I think that it's an interesting way to solve a problem, and that's what it's for. They did this to dry out the marshes and reduce the mosquitoes. And maybe that's why they call it former Grant Sanborn Marsh. So we say goodbye to this search. Wait a minute. We don't say goodbye just so yet. There's one point about these waters that I still haven't figured out yet. And it's way down here, the Louisiana Delta, the Mississippi River Delta. And that would be right here. Wait, there's Mississippi, there's Louisiana, we even have Arkansas. But Louisiana is pretty much where the Mississippi River comes out, right? Where if you look at the Mississippi, you don't see any river going out. It's landlocked down here. Biloxi Blues. Biloxi. What else is there? That's the strip right there. This is how big is that? I never really thought about that. Is that even 100 miles? Not even 100 miles. So there you go. Mississippi is not where the Mississippi River comes out. See, you don't learn that in high school. Why not? I don't know why not. Have no idea. Wonder if you can hear me. Okay, nobody's chatting. I do have 2 watching. Well, that's sad because I had one more thing to show. But I'll show this. I won't talk for more than 30 minutes. This is the Mississippi River, but you see a weird delta going on. Now, here we can see right here this kind of reefy thing. It's a shoreline, right? This is the shore. That's the shore. So you've got this inner lake. That's still strange. But inside the inner lake, where there were marshes and there were cut up stuff, you also have straight rivers cut, including 2-way rivers. Now, I want to know about those. What I can tell you is that we have another article that I got this from, shows all this mess and claims it's some of the many canals dug by the oil and gas industry on the eastern side of the Mississippi River. So the straight ones, we can assume, were dredged by the energy companies. And there's a lot of gas down there, so it makes perfect sense. But come on, 2-way highways? I'd like to know a little more about that. When was it done? It looks like it was done even older because the water, let's take a quick look at it. The water looks like it's higher at a higher level. When you go out here, you can see all this stuff going on. This is a lake. Okay, but the lake, the bay, it says lake. Now it doesn't say lake. All right, so this is all in question. Like, what's going on here, especially with these doubles? I mean, why would anybody make a double? So I still wonder about this. I probably won't do a lot more videos about it because being debunked about what's up at Cape Cod and the other areas up there kind of makes me want to slow down a little bit, because it leads to, and Occam's razor says that it's probably closer to modern day. And we do know it's modern day. I'm not saying that this stuff is 13,000 years old. But come on, who did this? Double laned, crossed over, and lost from flooding? I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand the industry. So I won't worry too much about this. But to me, that is still highly suspect. Thank you very much. Okay, now we're moving on. We're moving on to the big stuff. Now, as you know, I came up with something that nobody has debunked, and I don't think anybody can. Another head scratcher in Africa. I found something that's even more crazy. Let's close this. Say goodbye to North America. Oh, wait a minute. We still have something else going. 2 Africas? Okay. I could probably close one, but since it's already open. There's Mali, right? That's the name of this video. There still is that other thing in Mali. Did I show you everything I needed to show? Good? All right. That's the past. Debunked. What's this? Oh yeah, more of that. So basically, these nice straight rivers were cut through in the 30s to help land dry, to avoid mosquito infestation, and make that neighborhood more livable. And that's that. Okay, say goodbye to that. All right. No chats. Nobody's. I've got 2 people watching now. I guess I shouldn't have repeated myself. Here's Molly, and I found a new map of this area that I thought was very interesting, but I'm not going to show that. But there's plenty of dikes, okay, in that area. When I use the word dike, as you know, I don't really believe it's a volcanic dike, which is what a dike is. I mean, there's a man-made dike, right? We have man-made dikes, don't we? Especially down in the East Coast, where I was just showing Florida. The levees are types of dikes. I don't know, is a levee a dike? That's a good question for Google Chat, or Chat GPT. I mean, so we could ask that. But first, let's ask about these dikes in Mali, which I've already shown you. And those dikes, okay, before I show you that, there is one thing that has been a mystery. I wanted to go here. You have to pay a guide to take you there. So there's some guide that knows about all this. And I'm just looking for something. This is called the Roman Road. It's on the Adrar Plateau somewhere. I mean, look at that. You've got the sand on it. So that could be south of the Richat. It could be north of the Richat. I said it's on the Adrar because I don't see how... I mean, okay, look. I'm going to be honest. Let's take a look at the map. If we go into Mauritania, we go to Atar. That's where this photo came from. Okay, there's a hotel here that I stayed at. I think it's over here somewhere. I think it's right there. But what I want to make very clear is the guide that you would have hired, he could have taken you over here somewhere. So let's understand where Atar is located. Now, I do want to go this way on my next trip from Atar. I want to go all the way over here. I want to drive that way instead of driving that way. I believe it would be easier, and there's also new things to see. So that's important to me. I wanted to get here last time I went, but the trucks that I had hired were not going to make it in the time frame, and we had only so much gas. And also, we didn't bring food when we were headed towards there. I thought it was going to be a one-day trip. It would have been an overnight trip. And I kind of had lost faith in the drivers of that trip, so I know what I have to do next time. But if you can fly directly to Atar, then you're going to have to find people with trucks. And even this trip, you might want to take 2 trucks. I don't think it's necessary, but I do believe that it could be required, especially if you wanted to get all the way over here. Now, I do want to get all the way over there, and the people that take you there, they seem to need more than just 2 days. That's a 5-mile, 6-mile jaunt to the location I want to get to from where I believe that they're showing you. I could be wrong about everything. I do jump to conclusions sometimes. But it's just important to me that the next time I go, I get up here to this area for, if you know me, why. But let's just say that Roman road, it could be on top of the Adrar. That's where I assumed. I assumed it was up here somewhere. But the color, to me, when you look at, when I drove through here, the colors up here didn't look like that. And there wasn't sand. So I didn't really see a lot of blown sand like that. So I always assumed it was over here. Since then I've driven through here. This area looks sandy, and I didn't drive right through there. I was near it. I think we went right up through here. All right, Brandon Bolton, welcome. Yeah, I was waiting for somebody. Okay, so if you just arrived, the bad news is I've been debunked. These things over on the East Coast turned out to be made after 1930. We found out. I still kind of wonder about this stuff here, which is the Mississippi River. There's some explanations though, so I'm not really going to worry about it too much. I'm getting into what's new, what's in Mali. But we had just talked about Atar and we had talked about the Roman road. Now, one thing I do want to say is I don't know how big this picture is. I don't know who took this picture. I don't know where this taken, all that sand. I don't know where that is. But what I do know where it is this. I was the one who took this picture here. This is me pointing at that. So if you can associate the shape of these stones, and these stones were very special. When I went there, I didn't see stones like this everywhere. Somebody had dug a hole in their property, and those two stones were showing. The stones on top, there's a video. Where's that video at? Maybe I can just show it real quick. Video, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me, it's gonna take a second. I'll show the video real quick. That's always easy, right? I unfortunately don't have the name, so I have to look for it. There we go. Check this out. Let's make sure.
All right, so as you can
turn the sound. Okay, why not? It's kind of loud.
couple of big, huge rocks.
Let me just show that again.
See. All right, so as you can see, I found a couple of big, huge rocks that to me look like they were placed together side by side. I mean, how does it get that smooth around those corners like that? I mean, especially with all this jagged, smashed stuff. This is totally different right here. I think that's important right there. They're very, very large pieces. In fact, this whole area here seems to have something going on. Now, we are on the outskirts of Wadan.
Yeah, you know somebody was buried there. That's definitely a burial spot for sure. There's no reason. I mean, unless somebody was hoarding sand. Thank you, Brandon, for saying that. No, of course, I say, oh, bad echo. Yeah, well, I had the microphone set too loud. This was my first trip to the Richat, and that was before I had ever seen the Roman road. Bad echo right now. Let me take a look at the. There shouldn't be a bad echo right now, but I can turn it down a little bit. Desktop audio. Let me hear myself. I don't hear an echo now, but I know that before there that video. I don't know. Oh yeah, because it's, you know why there's an echo? Because that's the audio from the desktop. I would have had to mute my microphone to stop that. Yeah, that always happens when I don't mute my mic. Like when I play the beginning music, if I don't mute my mic, I will get myself an echo. All right, so Roman Road. I'm going to have to pay a guide to figure out where that is. I think that this rock here looks very similar to those stones, and they're very big. Those stones are too big for humans to be moving around really easily. I did find more stones like that on the other side, but this is in Wadan. This is on the Adrar Plateau. I can show you where those are approximately. That's the video. I think the video still has a lot to go, but I don't think we need to watch it because I walked away from those stones. So let's get rid of that video. I think I may have uploaded that video already to my website. Sorry, to YouTube. So check it out or demand it if you don't find it. And I'll show you approximately. Yeah, it's the echo is because I didn't mute my mic. So what I need to do is if I do that, if I play videos like that, and let's practice again. I'll play you a quick video. What did I show? No, I don't want to do that. It's kind of rude. Let's just find something. Enough anyways. So, you know what? It doesn't matter. So we can imagine where that Roman road is. I mean, if I met the guide in Atar, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't really even talk to him. It was kind of a connection, and they didn't realize I had my own truck, but they didn't realize I had a plan, and I was going to go over and see these parallel canals. So close, right there. Yeah, if you're in Atar, you got a lots of stuff to see. There's apparently some other areas. I don't know about Ben Namera, if that's it. It's not that far from Attar, so I think it's probably around here somewhere. Let's zoom in a little more. I spent the night in Attar. Lots of mosquitoes. Make sure you take your mosquito machine, preferably the vapor, so you don't have to deal with like snapping all night. So this area here has a lot of stuff to be seen. Caves that cavemen used to live in up until the 1960s. Yeah, of course they did, because guess what? They would have had to build a tent other than that. All right, anyways, I'm just talking to myself. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to take a look at around here. Honestly, I made a big mistake last time I went, but it was a little too hot, and I had a project I was working on that kept me busy, and I should have just come to Attar and stayed there for the whole month. Or if you go to Attar for a whole month and you find a nice cheap hotel and you just look around and maybe find a truck, you're going to be able to see so much right here. Now, of course, the richat structure is way over here. And the stuff that I brought you all in for, and I guess I have 4 people watching now, but is a different location. And that's in Mali. Okay? I already had a video about this. I have the part 2 thumbnail, which I didn't use because I got debunked, and I just wanted to use that image. But even in the thumbnail, you see the so-called striations of dikes here and here. Not this. That's a circular dike. And where are we talking about? We're talking about right here in Mali, up here near the border. Now, Timbuktu is down here. Where is Timbuktu anyways? It's over here. I've never been there. I want to go. I really think that these lines here suggest that... Oh, great. You got here just in time. Kairos. Yeah, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but we do have some proof that these lines right here were probably made in the 30s because of mosquitoes. So that's over. I can't talk about that. Now, the Mississippi River Delta, that's a different story. But we've already talked about that enough. So we're going to talk about the striations I showed, and you were in that video. You were there. So I want to show you one more to really prove the point that this was not just a natural, just happenstance, you know? This is Timbuktu. Do you want to go there? I mean, honestly, I tell you, let's see if there's even any street views of that. We've got a couple of shots here and here. Let's see if we can get it. It looks like when we zoom in, we zoomed in and it disappeared. Hold on. Okay, so it's a street view you can walk around. Oh, it's a mosque. So we're never going to, this is inside the building. It's going to be, yeah, you can walk around in there. I've been in here before. And honestly, while that's cool, I do like it. I like it a lot. I don't really think that's going to be telling you what Timbuktu is. However, you know what? In alliance with my homebound internet travelers, we have been to Timbuktu together. And some people are never going to get out of their city in the United States for certain reasons. Maybe they have a job, they have responsibilities, or maybe they're homebound and they can't go on vacations for a lot of different reasons. So the question, what's this? Oh, the reservoir? We visited Timbuktu together, and that's probably one of the hardest places to get to. I don't know if Americans can even go there. I'm going to try. Mali has its problems. Burkina Faso has its problems. But you don't hear anybody. I don't hear problems about Mali, but I have heard some stories. So going here, it is a challenge. Oh yeah, a lot of them are modern day. Are we talking about Timbuktu and that mosque I just showed you? Okay, what I showed you last time was Telebit, Mali. Now, this is the thing. I zoomed in a lot and I implied that I didn't really believe that these so-called dikes were anywhere close to volcanic. By the way, if you didn't know, I just got myself a nice YouTube short talking about these and talking about, I'm not going to direct you to the short. it's just it was fun to do, and I'm learning a lot about shorts. Look at how the river's really green, but the sides of the river are not. So, and by the way, when I say river, I mean pretty much dry river bed. But I'm sure when it rains, you've got yourself a river. Look at the lines, though. We discussed it. These are not dikes. These are put there by somebody. And if you don't believe me by looking at those, because when we look at these so-called striations, these lines, and oh yeah, that's a volcanic dike. Okay, when we go over here and we just zoom in anywhere, we can see the really ridgy ones, the ones that are really high, the ones that are kind of like, yeah, like that one, have a spine to it. And you can even say that doesn't look like it's not part of the mountain. I don't believe that that's natural for a moment. It seems like these things were roads because they have this wide part at the top. Now maybe they got ground down from erosion, but in South Africa, look at these over here. And look at this one right here. Look at that mountain. Okay, that doesn't just appear that way. It just didn't vulcanize through the underlying sand. And by the way, the Sahara Desert wasn't always sand. It was green sometimes. So we have to assume some of this probably happened during the green eras. I mean, we're talking about it's been green twice in the last 10,000 years. So we can't just say that the Sahara Desert has always been sand. When you look at these dikes like this, you know, I say they were overburden dumping from a mining project, but they were put there in an intelligent manner, usually some other purpose, such as, take a look here, to stop a river. Wait a minute, this dike doesn't line up. So it looks to me like that stopped there and that stopped there. So that means that they put that dike there so the water would go that way. And maybe over here, what's that? No breach, no water breach. This is a pretty long one without a breach. Look at this. You see these two coming together here? And you see the water going right down the middle right there. Now it's breached over that way, and it started to connect with this river. So, but it looks like that dike was almost a 90-degree angle right there. Look at that. So it's like maybe they wanted that river to go that way. So they're sitting there dumping all this material, trying to get rid of it, and nobody notices. Like, look at this pile here. Now think about that. Why was that pile dumped there? Was it to get rid of it, or was it to hoard it? Maybe this was a slurry so valuable that he's like, oh, I can't throw that away yet. I'm going to put that right there so I can go through it later. That's why maybe we see some of this stuff diked. Now I'm going to go to what I want to show you today. I've made you wait. We've almost hit 30 minutes. By the way, I do want to say right now, this is my Homer Simpson mountain. Homer Simpson embedded in the Sahara Desert. Okay, I am Kairos. I truly believe we are seeing the incinerated foundation of older civilizations. The 1500 era maps prove this. Okay, but older civilizations, how old? By the way, that brings up a good point. I want to go to my Was This Atlantis and show you a few things I found in the Sahara Desert. Okay, let's go through this one by one. Okay, I was looking for these images, and I was wondering why I couldn't find this exact place. So now I know why. I'm not going to go there right now. Look at that. That's not the same place. That's a different one. It's in South Africa. Okay, there's another one. You go down to South Africa. I consider that overburden dumping. That's not a volcano. I mean, we can get in there. We can look at the top. Does that look like it's a cone where there's what do you call it? A plug and a volcanic plug. It looks like it's just a cone. Here's some other stuff in that same area. Like what I just showed you was very small, but this is pretty large. This is 5,000 meters is this right here. So this is 5 kilometers. So this is like 30 kilometers across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So actually 50 kilometers across. And when you see that 90-degree angle, it's not the only time you see it in South Africa. And what I want to show you is different, but we're going through something that I put onto my Was This Atlantis page. And you can go to these, and there's links waiting for you. You can visit them. Facebook.com Was This Atlantis. And you can check these things out. I mean, it's not so natural anymore. What I see here, that thing right there was dumped on the top. This terracing, And by the way, there is a lot of terracing. Now we're back to where I'm about to show you. There was a few things. The Homer Simpson. Here's another one. Look at this. You can see the original river. It's a dry river bed. You can even see like kind of a river inside it. But the widest part is the 100-year flood outline of that same river. But then you've got these pilings on top of it here. And this one even tries to block it off. And you see the river before it hitting that, going to the right of it, but also before it all starts going to the left of it. So it was a successful damming technique of water control of some kind. Now, did I have to zoom back out? No. Let's go to the next one. These things are kind of in the neighborhood I just showed you. The Homer Simpson Mountain. These kind of dikes are found all over the place. But that right there, let's go back. Let's close this. That right there. Okay, I showed you this last time, so I haven't ruined it for you, but there's nothing. That's Bimini Road right there. Bimini Road, if you want to visit it, you can just go to my page and then click the link right here. Let's click this link since it's right where waiting. If you go to South Africa, you can see my first experience with these dikes. By the way, I used an old photo, so it's greened up since then. And you can see right next to it, you see it here, and you can see it over, where's that other one? So there's two of them. One is right there, and the other one, is that it up here? That's similar, but that wasn't the one that I showed you. The one that I showed you was over here somewhere. And there's more over here. I got confused with this little strip right there. That's where I thought it was, because there's a bunch of stuff there as well. These lines, these ancient lines, don't tell me they're natural. No, and by the way, when I say nubs, I'm going to call it a dike nub, because when you have a mountain peak going alongside the dike nub, they're like this right here. That I called a nub, and then we got into it, and the nubs were Egyptian nubs and nubs on the pyramids and nubs. Look at that one. Is that not a triangle? So when you have a triangle, mountains don't make triangles naturally, in my opinion. All right, so now let's get back to the one I wanted to show you. Now, if you weren't aware, Lesotho is landlocked, and there's the Great Escarpment right there, and it seems to stop when Lesotho starts, and then it restarts on the other side. Now ask yourself this: how does the Great Escarpment, and by the way, I have seen geological maps where there's a dotted line going through Lesotho, implying that Lesotho is covering that escarpment. I've already shown you enough stuff around Lesotho, and I'm not going to do it today. I want to get back over. Wow, I got a lot of. Should I check my messages? No, that's Bart Simpson Mountain. Now I do have to turn it over. I'm sorry, I said the wrong one. I said Bart. I meant Homer. I think that looks like Homer, right? Now, of course, Homer has definitely got a long, elongated skull, right? So we don't have the elongated. Well, that kind of looks like an elongated skull, right there. And of course, his eye is a little bit mangled, but you have the what do you call it? The mustache beard line that's separated from the face, and the nose. We have to go look at Homer's nose. I think that looks like Homer. Looks like Homer's head, but his face got small. All right, let's get out of there and let's go over here. Wait, we got to turn this north-south again. All right, so where were we? That was the Homer. It's Niger, and then we go over to Mali, and we'll zoom in to that area that I called Telebit. And I'm just going to show you first that they didn't just use these dikes to create walls or roads. They were literally using these dikes to create plateaus, and to, I don't know if the main goal was to get rid of the material or if the main goal was to build up a plateau for some reason. I don't know. I already used, and by the way, there aren't very many. We used last time in the last video Google Earth Pro to find the images, which I think I have those ready to look at. I think I can go here and find them very quickly. I gotta resort. Let me sort by date. And if we don't see the recent stuff, which we should, we're going to resort again. And I think we're good to go with the recent stuff. I don't want to zoom into the... Is that not the recent stuff? Let's try down here. Go to my recent short. Because that's not it either. Alright, that's not it. I guess I don't have it ready. Hold on, let me try one more time. Nothing? No? Okay, we'll try that again later. But what my point was is that Google Earth Pro, I mean, we could go here to find the, we'll use the man to find the pictures. And I don't remember where those pictures are, so I think I'm wasting time. Let's look at this one, though. That one popped up. Let's look at that one. And then it says no street data is available here. I found about 6 of them. I found about 6 of them that were good. And we saw the pictures of this stuff. And I don't see them now. But what I want to show you now is this. Now, what you see here is literally what I call cross-hatching. And if you, it's kind of hard to tell because you got to zoom way in, but you can see the striations going east-west, almost, and also north-south. Look at those 3. So they're going north-south and they're going east-west. This is not volcanic activity. And when we zoom in, let's see if we can find those guys, those pictures. Where are the, oh, there's one? That's not going to work. No street data available. Where was that? Let's try to zoom out and find it. There's one. Can we get that one? Nope. Okay, so I was near Telebit. I think I was a little north. I was like here somewhere. So you can see these things, and we can zoom in. They're not even 200 feet wide. They even stops right there before the river starts. Is that because the river washed it away in the past and breached it? Or did it literally stop and start there on purpose? That I can't tell you. It looks like it stopped and started, but I have a feeling maybe it got breached. The reason why I say that is because there's so many of them going across that river. And these are rock piles. They're not a solid, I want to say geopolymer, because the ones that I've studied, they look like concrete. I can show you the material. Oh, look, I got lucky. This is the stuff we see in Colorado. And so if you have volcanic activity like these dikes, and by the way, these are the dikes in Colorado that if they're not volcanic, then those were giants doing something. But if they're natural, then they're natural. But I don't understand how natural volcanic activity can, when you look at the big dike, when you look at the one that's in this dike right there that I just showed you, the material for was coming from Twin Peaks. Sorry, I made that mistake again. Spanish Peaks. So we've got Spanish Peaks right there, and it's that specifically is the Apishapa Trail. Is this thing on? Let's make sure that we can see all the names. And let's make sure it's north-south, or I won't find it. Right here is the Apishapa Arch. That's where I found this material, and this was definitely not the concrete that they had put on it. This was the material of the arch. It had been cut recently, so it wasn't as darkened like I found on top of the arch. And on top of the arch, you could barely see those, what looks to me like granite, because it was darkened. So it was like a different shade on top. I climbed up here and got a few pictures. But that's different from the ones that I found, say, on the other side of Spanish Peaks, which is right here. Now, my picture shows the golden sunset. I want to find my picture, because if you look at the Google map picture, the sun's not shining on it. So I'm going to give it a shot and find my picture. By the way, am I sharing? Yeah. How do we doing? Thank you so much, Kairos and Brandon. I don't know if you're still here. I'm probably finishing this very quickly anyways. I promised I'd only do half-hour shots, and we're already at 40 minutes. So I want to finish this up. Just letting you know. Oh, look at this picture. Now, come on. If anything doesn't prove, look at this while I'm looking for that other shot. If anything doesn't prove that the what's that thing called? The Sphinx wasn't the third member I mean, look at the cliff behind the Sphinx. That's the second member right there. And you can see those striations, not perfectly lined up, but we can see those striations. That's the Sphinx right there. So when I pointed that, I want to point right there. That's the Sphinx right there. So that's back there is the cliff. So it's not perfect, but I do believe that that line right there is probably where they put the third member on top of the bedrock of the ground. There was a lion sculpture, and then later on it broke, or somebody decided they hated it, and they put the cement on there. We know that this part from here, this part right there, that triangle, and this triangle, that was added in the early 1900s to support the headdress, but also it covered up the easy to see limestone. All right, we're almost out of here. There's a lot of stuff. I was going to show you this and I forgot. There was a lot of stuff I found in the Sahara. And if you look at my Was This Atlantis page, you can see that location out in the middle of nowhere. Look at that. Look at those corners. I mean, come on. What year do you think that was built? That's in the middle of... Okay, go to my Was This Atlantis and you'll find that. I'm just having one more shot to find the golden... Okay, so we can look at this. This is that same arch. You can see the part that was done by the service, the forestry service. But this part right here, that's a different color from the other part that I showed you. Now, I just want to find that other picture, but I think I lost it. I must have put it somewhere else. I really feel it's coming up soon, you know? And you'll see what I'm talking about, the golden color. No? Oh, I got to move faster. I'm about to give up. Yeah, we don't have everything ready. Oh, okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Oh, yeah, there it is. See, I knew I could find it. So this is the color of this dike, and this is not, and you can get up close to it. This is the terracotta color, but it's coming from the same mountain. So ask yourself how it could be a different color. Honestly, from this one right here, look at the color of this, and the sun's right on it. It's not golden. It's the color that I remember. All right. Yeah, these fortresses in the middle of the Sahara Desert, the cement, fully cemented third member. Now, I've seen this picture with the limestone sticking through on the other side. So I know that the limestone that came up and went all the way up to the top, this cement barely covers. They carved it. When I got mad at Graham Hancock for saying the term recarved, I was wrong, because they did recarve that limestone down to a nub to put that headdress on top of. You could see the limestone sticking through. So I believe there is a limestone in the third member underneath. Well, hi, Kairos. The secrets can be found. So this is the Devil's Stair Steps. By the way, I've said it a million times. The fact that there's 3 dikes there, not just one big dike, but 3, does add to the mystery. And when I look at all these dikes, I say, wow, how can that not be natural? So Echo Creek might have been the reason why giants would have put damming dikes across there. The dikes up there are different. Oops, I just closed that. We can let's take a look at the photos, and we'll see if we can find those pictures that I just said I wanted to show you. I just got to go here. Yep, here they are. So just go a little deeper into the pictures. There's pretty much the area I'm showing you right now. I don't even want to call those dikes anymore. I call them dirt earth projects. Okay, this is another one. The link's there. This is actually a city, but a lot of cities you find in the Sahara have these older, I don't want to say ghost town. Those could be inhabited right now. We don't know. This one out in the middle of nowhere. This is in the middle of a city. The link's there if you want it. This is on the mountain. There's always stuff up on the mountains, right? Because maybe the flooding. This was like, I don't know what that is, but you can see all sorts of ancient lines around it in the sand. Near a big city. Here's another, what I call fort. I hope I'm not shouting. I think that's that same thing that I showed you a minute ago. Again, another little, I don't want to say ghost town, but the heart of the town, the original, the ancient part of that town. Every town in the Sahara has an ancient core to it. There's a museum there. These are places I'll probably never get to. You can see here these qanats, these lines of qanats in, I believe that's Algeria. It could be, I think it's Algeria. There's another one. So these towns had qanats leading to the water. I don't know. There's another little fort. And by the way, I don't know what happened to that picture because I think I'm done. That is Algeria. That's Mississippi River. I'm pretty much going to remove this, I think. Although I did see a video that talked about how ancient this part of Australia and Melbourne really is. But I do believe that we've solved the mystery, and that's just, I don't know. All right. So that fort I just showed you, I don't know where that is. Where did I see that fort just now? Now I forgot where it was. Ah, life goes on. Guys, I got to keep my promises. Y'all have a good day.